Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the session. I'm just going to be waiting a few minutes just to let everybody join. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It looks like we're still getting a few participants joining. It's great. Give it one more minute and then we'll kick off. Okay, I think we'll get going. Well, thanks everybody for joining this session today. My name is Phil Stead. I'm the VP of Solutions and a partner at Reliant. I'm going to be taking you guys through edge computing in action. I believe probably most of you were just watching my colleague Richard Newman, co-founder and CTO of Reliant, taking us through kind of a historical lesson on edge and why it's so relevant. So I'm going to bring you forward into some actual use cases and where this is being used today. So we are Reliant. We are the leading edge platform for retail, hospitality, and branch locations across a wide variety of different businesses. So in the retail space, all the way from luxury retailers with really large digital requirements, and hospitality, large scale hospitality chains, and also convenience store chains and branch locations. We're founded in 2006. Our headquarters are in New York City. We've got over 12,000 deployments spanning those different verticals. Our main headquarters is in New York City. Our development's based out in Brazil, and we have a service center in Tallahassee, Florida. So today, retail is being disrupted. So I want to just talk for a second about some of the brands at the top level, the highest levels of the retail segment in the luxury space. Brands like Gucci is a great example. This is all publicly available information. Are doing really immersive events, pop-up locations to really showcase the brand, where customers may want to come in and learn about the brand and interact with all of those different products and all of those different digital experiences, both from transacting from a commerce perspective, also learning about the product, learning about how it's made, and everything that goes into that lifestyle experience. Likewise with Chanel, that does a lot of pop-up locations, really focused on high traffic customers and their customer base, which is really focused on really showcasing the products and also creating an environment for really digital immersive experiences where customers can interact with the brand the way they want to, learn about the brand, and really experience what's going on within that company. And then also have a place to really experience the products and see what's the latest in terms of advertising and signage. So also creating an environment which allows for social media posting, et cetera. Then also on the other side of that, as it relates to convenience and velocity of checkout. So what we're seeing in retail and grocery is a push, as Richard mentioned on his session earlier, to self-checkout, cashierless checkout. And no better place is really that shown other than Amazon Go and a lot of other concepts that are out there today emulating that, where a combination of edge computing, bringing that capability for local processing and compute down into the four walls of the store with a real emphasis on ease of use for the customer to come in, pick up the things that they want, and check out in the most frictionless way possible. And this also translates to kiosk environments where customers have the ability to come in, scan and go environments where large volumes of digital content for that retailer or grocery or C-store merchant may be present locally for the best experience on their own mobile device to perform checkout functions. And then also the traditional self-checkout where there's a more complex integrated self-checkout experience with an existing point of sale system and integrated peripherals, and right up to the buy online, pick up in store. All of these concepts are fantastic use cases for edge computing and bringing the management and access of local resources that are running inside the four walls of the store, the grocery store, or the supermarket, or large scale, large square footage retailer to the consumer. So hospitality today there's a tremendous push, especially in the top QSR brands, the quick service restaurant brands. Chick-fil-A, who's had a lot of publicity and a lot of different information written about them, has a tremendous push towards management of their infrastructure and do a very good job of that. They're able to process a tremendous amount of customers through their lines with some staggering statistics around cars per second through their drive-through and the amount of products that they're generating in their kitchen operations today. Likewise, they're also servicing the customers through drive-through and really adapting by bringing kiosk and line busting solutions out into the drive-through to speed that process up, to give that connection point to the customer, and also to facilitate the orders. And this translates also to other brands like Taco Bell today, which has a variety of customer channels, whether it's kiosk or front of house point of sale or mobile applications, speaking to kitchen display systems, which translate to orders and for pickup orders and for the ability for orders to be presented for customers for pickup. And this is translating directly into their design. So Business Insider released an article just a few days ago in conjunction with Yum Brands, which just announced they're now pivoting on their design and using a term Go Mobile for their forward-looking design for their restaurants, which is really designed to focus on synchronizing all of these different digital channels, whether it be front of house, regular traditional point of sale orders, whether they're mobile or drive-through. And Taco Bell's doing something, and it's in the article, it's public information, that they're gonna actually have separate drive-through lanes. And there's some other chains that are doing this also regarding mobile checkout. And that's a push and a change in the industry focused on what hospitality and quick service looks like in a post-COVID environment. Retail banking also has been tremendously uprooted through this. And what we see is with a push to more digital online banking approaches, the ability for retail banking and for consumers that enter those banks to be sold different services and products through a traditional branch location, such as credit cards or loans or other credit services or other banking services, has now been pushed out. So what we're seeing is this push towards self-service, where the consumer now in that direct freestanding retail banking location has the ability to interact with those predictable services through automation, through local processing of physical hardware. And also we see pop-up locations happening all over the world for bringing banking into high traffic, high volume areas such as airports. Currency exchange, we see a push around the globe around the ease of use as consumers travel to new areas and how this all consolidates down. And one of the key attributes that we're seeing in the disruption in retail banking is the ability to connect directly to that consumer. So when they do enter the branch location, that you're talking to them in a meaningful way around services that are tailored specifically to them. Capital One has a very nice set of material that's available online, just pushing out their concept that this really is now, it's not just a banking location, it's really pushing out a place for customers to recharge, to come in, collaboration spaces, as you can see here, that offer a variety of banking services, some level of automation, and a human touch when they really need it. So with all of this, how does this all connect with Edge, and how does this connect to a cloud strategy for these large enterprise tool sets across retail, hospitality, and other branch location verticals? So it's an interesting study that was released around where some of the cost benefits come in with edge computing and optimizing cloud costs. As cloud costs are exponentially growing with the introduction of additional enterprise solutions. The ability to bring those costs down translates with an edge solution. So all of these attributes that you're looking at here all translate to an edge solution, whether it be bringing data down inside the four walls of the branch location, so it's more proximal to the customer, to reducing those round trip WAN lookups and the application latency time associated with those transactions and applications. So the application landscape is very complicated. Most retail, hospitality, and other verticals have a combination of legacy client-server architectures, data center environments, with different varying standalone systems, with different management planes, all operating these different physical hardware, software, and application environments. And everybody's moving towards a cloud-first strategy. But the reality is today, as you add all of these different technologies and all the emerging technologies around machine vision, AI, and machine learning applications, that the individual computation times to actually process these vast amounts of data has to run locally. There's simply not enough bandwidth capability between these branch locations and the banks to really, and the clouds to really process this. And you know, when we look at the verticals, can they reliably operate in a cloud-only configuration? So what we see is all businesses have really transitioned over to some sort of you know, public cloud environment, whether it's AWS, whether it's GCP or Azure, and they've got a combination of vendors and applications running inside of their environment. We see a connected environment where individual devices with a cloud-only strategy have a direct line to those assets. What we see is with the elimination of connectivity and the inability for those endpoint IoT and physical systems to connect back into their respective management planes, those devices become unavailable. And what we see is by simply adding an edge computing platform, bringing in either one or two physical Intel-powered devices into a branch location, retail, hospitality, or other verticals, we're now able to extend a management plane into any cloud of their choice, or maybe it's in our dedicated cloud of their choice, and then connect these environments up to really bring in those vendors, those management planes, their cloud operations, the data, and out to all of those respective endpoints. So we're providing today to these markets a complete edge computing solution around an agnostic management plane that can run in their management environment, in their cloud environment. And then we've got an appliance that runs inside the four walls of the branch location. Again, Reliant's a software company. We are not a hardware company. We run on any x86 Intel-based physical hardware across many sets of different manufacturers. But we're flexible on the physical hardware, no constraints on the hardware. And what we're ultimately delivering as part of this is application hosting, both whole OS virtualization, containerization, microservices delivery, configuration management, managing both the applications and the micro settings within those applications, orchestration, the ability to select a single site, multiple sites, or all sites to push data out, and monitoring regarding the environment, and data collection to bring in those useful logs from IoT and other systems. And then the opportunities in Edge really extend all the way through to the front-end hardware, the devices inside of these branch locations, the applications, the databases used for data replication, the networking environments, enterprise data sets, machine data, and analytics, and then really connecting to those consumers. So what we see is Edge directly aligns to the strategy for delivering the next generation technology into retail, into hospitality, and into retail banking. And with that, I will let you all reach out to us. So hopefully that was a quick but fast read on this. And if you'd like to connect to Richard, who preceded me earlier today, you can connect to him on LinkedIn or myself, or just follow us on LinkedIn. That'd be fantastic. I'm just checking in on some of the questions that came in here. So this is a great question. What time savings have you seen for your clients over doing it themselves? That's a great question. So that is a common question. When you talk to the largest enterprise customers that are looking with real engineering and development resourcing, at their disposal, the question quickly becomes, do you build this or do you buy it? And what we represent is really a battle-tested platform. We are at scale deployed today in production across a very wide variety of customers with high velocity transactions, really tough operating conditions. Whether you go into, whether it's, I'll pick the airport segment where there's, a very high velocity of traffic and some substandard wiring conditions to connect those endpoint applications from point of sale and all the other things that you need, all the way up into QSR, to quick service restaurants. So yes, customers can certainly construct these environments, but the question becomes, are you in the business of building out edge environments, or are you going to take something that accelerates your ability to put edge out into the field? With the lack of guidelines and standards for edge computing today, what do you see as the most important criteria for a cloud and edge strategy? Well, I think one important component, and you may have not seen that on my slide, is that not everything needs to go to the edge. The projections based on just the available connectivity and bandwidth availability, even in a 5G environment, really it points towards edge. But the reality is, for the use of a cloud, the definition and sometimes the strategy around cloud is really the processing of vast amounts of static data or computational data that's been pre-processed. When you look at edge and you look at what's really happening, especially with customer interactions, this can be considered instant data. These are interactions that have to happen as close to the consumer as possible. So sensors, things like machine learning, things such as workforce management and camera systems designed to pick up on consumer and employee workforce engagement. Those things happen near real time because those computations happen near real time. So not everything needs to go to the edge. Some things obviously require large data set processing, and some of those things do need to go to the end. Let's see, what have you seen as the largest IT wins for your clients to date deploying with edge? So some of the great stories are where we've had entire large customer bases, large franchisee organizations, where they have kind of mandated their payment infrastructure. There's a set of great use cases around payments in edge, and we've had customers that have pivoted their payment infrastructure from, I'll use EMV, so the Euro, MasterCard, Visa standard for chip and PIN that was deployed into the US several years ago, as really a driver. So our customers were extremely well positioned for when EMV was adopted in the United States. We were able to really pivot all of those customers and take out their virtualized payment middleware that was connecting those endpoint payment devices, whether they were Verifone or Ingenico or Pax or something else. And we were able to put in the right application with the right management plane and do that in a very seamless way. And we've got a really great story there, and that's a real painful, that's a real pain point for those customers. So being able to manage infrastructure and critical systems such as point of sale and transactional applications really gives them that benefit. And I think we're almost up here. So, again, you can reach out to us at info@reliant.io. And there's our company information. And it was a pleasure meeting with everybody today. Thank you so much.